Hey guys, welcome back. Today I am putting another page in my October album. I am using the Crafty Witch digital kit from Nelly and Clem, and usually you've seen me plan my pages before I print digitally, and if you haven't, I will link that video up here. Today I did things a little bit backwards because I already had these die cuts from the last time I used this kit, so I kind of planned my layout using the die cuts that I already had, but I did that digitally as well, so I knew how big to print my photo. And I've also got a sneaky second little part to this page, so I printed out these kind of flashcards at a slightly different size than I already had, but otherwise I didn't have a whole lot of printing to do today, so it was a very quick page indeed. I don't need to faff around too much because I know basically what I want to use and where they're going to go, and it started with this Death Before Decaf zombie hand. 100% agree. There is another little zombie hand included in the kit, so I'm going to use both of those, and that kind of gave me a really distinct color theme. So I've got this like green page going on. My photo was appalling quality, so I printed that in black and white. It also helps that kind of green stand out a little bit more. So I've added a bunch of other green things. I've got the two zombie hands, a little green scalloped label. I've got that eyeball there, which is totally cute, and I had to add that caution tape because it's definitely caution before I've had my coffee in the morning. I've trimmed off a little bit that was sticking outside of my page. I'm definitely going to come back and use that. I hadn't actually planned that, but it was too cute to leave off, so I'm just going to stick that down there. The bone kind of contrasts nicely with the background, even though that whole piece is just black and white. And then I'm going to go ahead and embellish this with a few little enamel dots. And when I say few, I mean a ton of enamel dots. These haven't come out of my Halloween stash. They have just come out of my regular stash. I just went through and picked out a few kind of tealy colored enamel dots so that I could add to that kind of color theme. And you'll see there I'm also going to add a few lime green ones. I know, lime green. Who am I? There's a reason, there's a purpose for the lime green ones. I'm actually going to come back to the enamel dots because I want to do my other little add-on to this page before I finish up filling out the rest of these kind of double clusters on this page. So let's get us started with that. Now, every so often when I've had a few minutes to play, I've created these kind of Halloween sequin mixes. It's just a fun process for me, but I had no purpose for them. So today I kind of want to create a little bit more of a reason to have them. I'm going to make a little sampler sequin filler page for my album. So I trimmed down those little tiny flashcards. I had printed them purposefully at 2 inches wide because I am going to use my fuse tool, my much neglected fuse tool, and I'm going to fuse down a full-size Life Crafted pocket page into about 2 inches wide. So I'm using my ruler. I've taped that onto the page protector there just to make sure it was straight. So it's slightly wider than 2 inches so that those little flashcards fit into the pockets nicely. Now when I'm fusing, I do make sure to fuse both sides of the pockets, and you can actually feel when it's fused, it has that kind of bumpy texture rather than smooth. The easiest way to check though if it is secure enough is just to give the edge a little flick and make sure it is fused tight enough, especially when dealing with sequins, because the last thing you want is the sequin pocket to burst and the sequins to go everywhere. So once I've got the side fused down, I just trimmed that with my paper trimmer, and I'm gonna create a little ruler guide for myself here. So I am using just a cutting mat, but you can't fuse directly onto a cutting mat, it will melt. I've added a bit of scrap paper, but it also gives me the ability to draw a line. So I'm gonna use this, it's about 1 3/4 inches, I think, as a guideline for where I'm gonna fuse these sequin pockets. So I'm starting with my first sequin mix. I added a little scoop, best not to overfill these, otherwise they'll get very bulky very quickly. I lined it up against the edge of the paper and then fused along that pencil line. Now, I'm not worried too much about fusing back and forth through these interior sections. It's really only the outside edges that are the main concern. Now the little flashcards were digital. I'm going to fuse them completely into this pocket, so I wanted to cover up the back of them so that they're not just plain white. So I'm adding some little scraps of pattern paper here, just adhering them onto the paper and trimming them out with scissors. That way they've got kind of a fun pattern on the back of it, rather than just being kind of plain white computer paper stripes. And I'm going to repeat the same process. So I'm popping them into the pocket and then just fusing along the top. I'm only fusing once so that they're just encapsulated in there and that the pocket has a bottom for my next little section of sequins. Now I'm going to repeat this process 3 times, so I'm whipping through it at lightning fast speed, but just adding a little bit of sequin mix into each pocket before I finish up with the last flashcard. You can see here there's a little bit of extra space at the top. I obviously didn't measure quite correctly. It is what it is. I'm going to live with it. It's not an issue. Now again, at the top, I want to make sure that this is fused so nothing pops open and spills out. But apart from that, that is my little sequin sampler filler page all done. Now you can see why I was adding those little lime green enamel dots, and I'm going to do the same here with some orange, pink, and purple ones. It's just to tie in a few of the colors in that sampler page so that it didn't look like it was completely separate from my photo page. Now that is my page all done. I will leave the link below to the Crafty Witch kit. Do go and grab it. It's super cute. Hey, thanks for watching today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more. If you want to keep watching now, I'm going to leave a couple videos on screen for you. Otherwise, I'll see you again really soon. Bye.